Y'all know what time it is? It's Wednesday. It's 7 p.m. Central Time. And that... Oh, come on, where's my top tier blocking part of my chat? I wish that was easier to address. So it is... Sorry, I'm a little disheveled here. It is Dungeon Masters of Entrath time. The one and only currently running Hex TCG game show. Every Wednesday night on my channel here. I have created a deck which is a series of encounters for you to challenge. If you manage to fight your way all the way through the dungeon to the end, you win a grand prize. The prize list is available by typing !prizes in chat. Lose anywhere along the way and your run is over, and the prize pool grows for the next person to challenge you. Or to challenge me. Yeah, I can't talk today apparently either. It's the kind of day I've been having. If you wish to challenge the dungeon at any time, please speak up in chat and let me know. The current dungeon's format is Immortal. All sets are legal. Common and uncommon cards only. No rares, no legendaries. If I do not see any challengers in the channel, I will do my own thing here and stream some limited until we have somebody show up and wish to throw down. It appears to be a quiet night so far. The definition of crickets up in here. So I have an Evo queue where I cracked the packs and I have not made a deck yet. So we can see what we got going on in here. Paired Power, Sir Droxard. Have a Twilight Eclipse, which is nice. Go ahead and break this down by shard. So there's Squirmicter is alright. Balance of Scales plays well with constants, but there's not much else in Blood that's constant. Blade Park Vampires, a little bit of Flight. 2 Frost Blasts is real nice. In Evo, this is I tend to think in Evo these are actually good. Some evasion with a decent back end. Not a whole lot of just sheer quantity, though. Not a lot of troop count in Ruby. Sapphire has 2 Eldritch Thunderbirds. Pair of Woolly Moas. Some Fate Weave. Transform. No shard is jumping out at me as the oh my god, you gotta build around it shard yet though. Pair of Poppy Pixies. Is there Death Cry theme in here? Not really. This might have to go try shard too. What to do with the Evo? Okay, there's a lot of cheap there's a lot of cheap stuff in here. What is up, Nazer Snub? How are you doing tonight? Let me know if you have any questions here. We currently do not have any challengers. for the dungeon tonight, at least not yet. If you have any questions, I am not playing. Well, it would be constructed of a source, or I guess if you're playing constructed, maybe. But if I get any challengers tonight, what Dungeon Masters of Entrath is it is a very kind of casual PvP competition I do, where I have created a series of decks, and I will pull up the dungeon map here to show you what I'm talking about. Where players are going to start in either starting room 1, which is on the lower left of this map, or starting room 2, which is on the lower right. And there are bonus rooms, but the bonus rooms have all been defeated, and those are one-shot encounters. So we'll just kind of not worry about those right now. Matches are best of 1, so if you beat a deck, you move on to the deck that's connected to it on down the line. And your end goal is to make your way to either boss 3 or boss 4. If you defeat them, you win the grand prize. The grand prize is available by, you can check it by typing !prizes in chat. That pulls up a link to a Google document where I keep that so that we're not cluttering up the screen with that. The current grand prize pool has 24,000 gold, more than half a dozen rares so far, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different booster packs and counting. Matches are best of 1, so if you win, you move on, you lose, and the prize pool grows for the next person to challenge the dungeon. As for the format of the dungeon, it is immortal format, so every set is legal. Commons and uncommons only, no rares, no legendaries. If you've seen or observed any of Function's tournaments over the week, they operate under a similar rule. So just commons and commons only, any set's fine. You will note that the Dungeon Master decks do break that rule a bit, and we'll have some rare and legendary cards in there to kind of fill in the role of AI-only card text, since you're kind of fighting a dungeon and giving it a little bit of that PvP flavor. I try to be very careful with how much go in there, because I do want the decks to be tough but beatable, you know, not overpowered. It's not a fun experience for anybody if nobody can win. That would defeat the whole point of a game show if nobody can win. But they are tough, so if you win the dungeon, you know, I want you to feel like a badass for accomplishing that. One other not frequently used rule, but thing you are allowed to do is you can use a different deck between every single encounter of the dungeon if you so desire, as long as every deck you use obeys that commons and uncommons only rule. Because I do not design the dungeons with the thought of one deck being able to clear them. Almost every dungeon has been defeated by one deck in the past, but that is not a requirement. So some people who watch the stream a lot will see particularly challenging decks and go, you know what, I want to hate around that deck, and I want to build a deck specifically to hate on that encounter and completely wreck what I'm trying to do. And so they will build one specific utility deck to help get them over the hump of that one encounter, and then switch to a different deck over the remainder of their journey through the dungeon. Very, very similar, right? And the idea is to help make it more new player accessible, very budget friendly, so that you don't have to worry about, you know, having a big constructed list or having all the rares or really worrying about what the current meta is. It's very much about trying to build, you know, weird decks, explore concepts that haven't been played to death, not really worrying about the current meta, and just kind of, you know, relaxing and having some fun with the cards we own in different ways than we may otherwise have used them for. I have most of the fancy ones too. I mean, I've got 4 Bride of the Dams. I put the money in, but I like to try different. Like to try different things too. Sounds good. Yeah, take your time. Just let me know when you're ready. There's no rush. I usually stream for about 3 hours on Wednesday nights. I do it every Wednesday. When I do not have any current challengers, Then I will usually stream something else like an Evo game, because those are just little one-off games, and then I can be done and move on if a challenger does show up. Same bosses and same rooms, yes. So the dungeon, every numbered encounter on the map here is always the same deck. And once a dungeon has gone live, I do not change the contents of the deck. So if you watch other people do runs and you continue to watch the show over time, you will know exactly what are in all of these decks. Boss 3 is always going to be the same deck. So if you've seen somebody play it, you know what you're getting into. I do not reveal the contents of the decks in advance, and so this isn't what it is, but I'm not going to say boss 4 is Kagulichu, boss 3 is Yodel. I don't announce that in advance. I want people to figure it out in advance, kind of have that bit of journey discovery. I save every episode as a highlight on YouTube, so people who are curious can go back and watch past episodes. We've been running this dungeon for at least, I think, 4 or 5 weeks now, and I also upload all the videos to YouTube, and my YouTube channel is Thrawn Omega, same as my Twitch ID. So you can rely on some consistency there, and regular viewers have that greater advantage of knowing what is coming. Yeah, so I've been doing this for 7. Oops, I want that to stay up. I've been doing this for 7 months now. I started doing this in February, every single Wednesday night for 3 hours. You've caught me at a very odd night, just because usually it has been the experience of this show that by about 15 minutes into the stream, I would almost always have 2 or 3 people by now saying, I want to challenge the dungeon. And so by now we would have gotten into the actual flow of things. And it's actually really weird that's not happened so far tonight. So I do apologize for that little bit of weirdness. But, this is something I've been doing for a while now. I'm super enthusiastic about it. I have a great time doing it. And as long as people show up and want to challenge the dungeon and we're all having fun, I have no intention of stopping. And you're right, it is early. I just fired up. It's not even that far after 5 o'clock on the West Coast, so a lot of people on that half of the country probably still driving home, getting situated. So I'm just dinking around with trying to put an Evo deck together out of this pool, just to bide some time until we have somebody want to throw down. Like I said, challenging the dungeon is as easy as saying in chat, I have a deck that meets the rules, and I want to challenge the dungeon. And then it's first come, first serve. I take as many challengers as I can fit in 3 hours until 10, and then we pick up where we leave off the next week. If somebody loses in the dungeon, which is very frequent, I think I've only had one person. No, maybe 2 people ever defeat a final boss on their first crack through a dungeon. Losing somewhere along the line is the most common first outcome, and there's absolutely no shame in that. People are allowed to challenge the dungeon multiple times. I will just kind of rotate through the list of everybody who has spoken up and wished to challenge the dungeon so that everybody gets as close to an equal opportunity to play among the interested people as I can manage. I really have no idea what the heck I'm doing with this Evo pool. I might have to try shard it. So fly over your head, stun a thing. Woolly Moas are good for Fate Weave. Don't want to jump into a constructed match because those are going to be best of 3 and take a while. And then if somebody says I'm ready to go, then I'm making them wait a rather unfortunately long time. do love Poppy Pixie. Do this in cost order. Run this as a cloud deck. What does it look like? Oh, that's thin. It's thin. What happens if we splash some blood up in here? Nope, that's not the card I want to put in there. Lightbark Vampire. I guess this to 19, that's 17 troops. I don't want to call the weak just because I don't want to introduce a double blood threshold when I'm barely splashing it. That's 20. What do I have in Shardless? This gets 2 random wounds. Boy, I'm desperate enough to play the toolboxes. Yes, this is not what we call in the business a great pool, but go puff the rainbow, try to turn some weaklings into some additional hits. Take my 4 fixing shards. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already have 1, 2, 3 sources of blood in here. I think 1 more is fine. I'll do it that way. Alright, let's roll up in an Evo while we wait for a challenger and see if this random pile of jank can win a match. I am not able to find an Evo match. I might just stream some Frost Ring Arena or something. Oh, nope, never mind. We got somebody. We okay. Dinotropia running up against the community manager. Okay, you'll be able to challenge me when this game is over. Sounds good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the Wild Shard down turn 1. Throw down the Belligerent Badger. Pass the turn over. And I'm realizing the Eldritch Thunderbirds aren't that great in this deck because there aren't that many actions in this deck. Alright, Dino, go ahead and hit me. Fate Weaving. Probably tempt a trade here because it's a little bit hard to get the Badger going. God, this is the first time I've encountered the new Hex Clash battle board in person. That is a really hot, spicy board. Okay, so do need to find a shard here. I'm gonna stun that to stop some incoming rage. I think I swing here. If these trade, that's fine. I need to Fate Weave for a resource. Maybe he won't take that trade. Okay, that's fine. Give me a resource, por favor. Preferably one of the Blood Persuasion, because we don't have any of those yet. 2/1 flyer. Well, that disrupts what I wanted to do here. Alright, so play the Wild Ice, Fate Weave for another resource, and throw down Eldritch Thunderbird. And I think just pass here. I think at this point I'm gonna just want to play the Royal Toolbox on 5 and see what boon hits we get. You cannot use equipment because the system doesn't recognize it in PvP matches. If there was a it's not a me rules thing, it's a system, the game physically doesn't allow it thing. If the systems are ever put in place to allow the use of equipment, then that is something I would consider allowing. I'd have to kind of look over things and figure out how to try to balance that, because that creates exponentially more things I need to try to keep track of from a balancing perspective. But I would want to allow it. What am I getting? Swift Strike and Lethal is a pretty good combo. Seems okay. And I'm going to withhold swinging. Royal Toolbox could actually be good in Evo. Dino struggling on at 3. Played this Frost form. No swings, no plays. Alright, and there's our much needed blood threshold finally. So swing with this. That's 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they could kill that with a as a united front. Throw that on the Blightbark Vampire. I need to find some kind of an endgame strategy here. Oh my god, this has Swift Strike. I should have just swung with the freaking toolbox. The Circle of Thorns just keeps making things better. And there's a Twilight Eclipse. Spread some love around. Okay, just a chump block and a trade. Throw on Blightseed. Don't get the value of having anything with a Death Cry there. Dino is up to 4 resources, 2 of each threshold. He has a Blightbark Vampire of his own. Shard is really not what the doctor ordered. I'm gonna just swing in with a toolkit. And I am losing, because of Twilight Eclipse, I need to remember that I am losing 2. Dinotropia is gaining 2 every single turn. Oops, that's not what I wanted to have up. And, oh man, Walking Boneyard, 7/7, that is devastatingly strong. Crap, this target troop you control gets power equal to this. Yep, so that can all go onto the... I've got 2 things to be terrified of now. That'll all go on the Blightbark Paladin. Yep, so that's an 8/2. Now I have to leave the toolbox to block that. This would have Swift Strike to kill that off. These 2 kind of need to sit as Vamp Patrol. And I think I have to unfortunately waste a charge power defensively to try to forestall a vampire swing for a turn so that I don't 2-for-1. Because otherwise I'd have to give up both Eldritch Thunderbirds in a hope that that gets taken out. But Twilight Eclipse can just basically sit and stall the board out. And Dino has a lot of health to run down. And so now I think he's just basically content to ensconce himself behind the wall of Twilight Eclipse. And let us wear ourselves out. Alright, so Nazer Snub, I need to know two things from you before we run the dungeon. First, I need to make sure I know what your Hex in-game name is, and then I need to know if you wanted to start at starting room number 1 or starting room number 2. That way I know which deck I need to use. Okay, so same as Twitch. Alright, I might just concede this after a draw or two. I don't know how I race him down here. Oh, and those are elementals. That's even worse. I'm just gonna concede here. Alright, we'll give that one up. Good games, Dinotropia. Alright, so I'm gonna back out here. We'll send you a Whisper here. Nazer Snab. Alright, so I've sent you a Whisper so you can challenge me when ready. I always like to have the players challenge me because that way I know you have the deck picked out that you like. Just remember to make it Immortal format. Otherwise, I'll have to cancel the challenge. Because my decks may not show up. Alright, so we're starting with door numero 1. Okay, so I can send you a challenge now, but for future reference, if you see what I'm doing here, if you send a Whisper, you can right-click on somebody's portrait, and then third option down is challenge, and then you want to do Immortal. Yep, you got it. There we go. Okay. And starting room 1. Alright, here we go. First time player. First time challenger. Nazer Snab. Oh, this hand is so good if it had a wild threshold in it, but it doesn't. Snap keep. Alright, let's seek some fortune to try to make sure the resource base is there, and then I think the next one is going to be a Pluck for a non-resource. Try to get things going. I think I missequenced that. I think I'm supposed to play the Shard to Fate Weave a non-resource to the top of my deck first, and then play the Storm Drummer to try to increase the odds that that hits. I think that was a small goof there on my part. Alright, Naser Snab hits 2 resources, throws down a bloat cap. Each opposing champion has to choose and discard a card when it dies, which makes it a nice sacrifice target for Takahiro. Alright, so once again, we got 4... You know what? I'm gonna actually pull for a resource here, and play the Eager Lackey. Get a Master Rune Crafter. At the start of each combat phase, transform each rune you control into a Rune Golem. So basically, for us, that's just gonna be a 5/3 for 4. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Howling Brave too. If we have to discard something, I'll discard the Shard because I just put a Shard on top of the deck. Okay, that was a calculated risk that there wouldn't be a trade there. I'm guessing Naser Snab would rather sacrifice the bloat cap into that power, gain health, and make me discard. What is up, Varukiel? Welcome in to this, our 33rd episode of Dungeon Masters of Entrath, the one and still the only game show for Hex Shards of Fate. We have Naser Snab here, first-time viewer, first-time challenger, throwing down. 33 is a significant portion of the way to the big 50. Oh, I didn't want a slow Shard. I'll take it though, because I've got Howling Brave. What at least have I? But a raid on Wednesdays made it hard. Raids are all-consuming endeavors. What game? Destiny? World of Warcraft? Something else? So Wednesday is dropped for a bit. Wow. Of course, the original. I got to dabble in some of the Destiny 2 raid over the weekend. We got through the first couple chunks of that. No! No! Way to troop in your crypt. Alright, Festering Decay takes out my wonderful Rune Crafter. Man, I haven't played a PC MMO in a while, and I was playing Final Fantasy XIV for a while, but I got burned out on that gear treadmill. I miss EverQuest 2, to be honest with you. In its golden days, that game was the best. Just because I had a tight-knit group of people that I would play with and chat with like all the time. And so it was more about the friends you made in-game than anything else, and kind of that shared adventures, which I'm sure WoW has a similar appeal. But I've tried to get back into EverQuest 2 a few times, and it just hasn't doesn't do it for me anymore like it used to. Alright, so one zombie came back, brings back its friend, the relentless zombie. We have to sacrifice polymorphic army because of bloat cap. And that was our whole end game. So these are bigger now. Festering Decay, again, taking out our Dreamsmoke Mystic. Removal game on point. Alright, so I'm going to transform all of them into 4-drops. Each champion's maximum hand size is reduced by 3, and the Killipede, when this is attacking, it has Swift Strike. So, yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't think that works the way you think it does. Am I missing something? One of those is going to die, and then the Killipede takes 4. So I guess one dies, and you're not toxified. Oh yeah. The stream is young. So as long as you, it's Immortal format, commons and uncommons. If you've got a deck, and you're ready to go, just post in chat for me as confirmation you're ready to go, and you'd be next in line. Okay, so I'm gonna take that 4. Huh. Oh, of course, so the thing that we hit with the Prophecy to be able to battle a troop lands on a 1/1. I'm not going to use the Prophecy trigger, and I don't get any shards. That's a whole lot of feel-bad moment. I'll swing with these two. And now next turn, if zombie swings, you know what? I think I take 4 again. Or maybe I just jump with the Cottontail Explorer. So maximum hand size reduced by 3 would mean 4 card max hand. Probably not relevant one way or another with the current board state. But worth noting, Nazer Snab is toxified. If our Eager Lackey transcended into the Killipede hits again, it's game over. Alright, sounds good, Vrukil, then you are on deck. I need to find a way to get some extra power. Alright, so Killipede could be killed now. You put 3 bodies in front of it. One of them dies. The other 2 take it out. Which makes it a little less good. So I'm gonna play a shard. And then I don't think I do anything yet. I need to bide my time. There's no zombies in the crypt right now. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a top deck war. Wild Shaper Caliban needs 1 more. resource, and then I can turn a 4 into a 6. I would probably turn this 4/4 into a 6/6 because that's the least powerful troop here. Need to find another copy of... There's no cards in the void. Alright, well, we'll play Land of Pause Site, bank some draws, and that'll help give us some card advantage here. And then again, continue to hold out. Usually this deck gets to the point a little better than it has. But we'll just continue brewing resources. Meanwhile, all of those things keep growing to be big and horrifying, so maybe holding out is a bad idea. So you have 16 health. Wow, Runic Chrysalis doesn't really help in this situation, does it? Maybe it is a surprise killer. I think I need to sit on it. I think time is working in Nazir Snap's favor now. Sacrifices the lackey, picks up some cards. Is there any death cries here to hit? Must have been one. Is that the one that makes the beetle? Yep. So free beetle. Oh, fantastic. And now probably start seeing some pressure come in. Because there's enough there to hold back Killipede. Alright, indeed, here comes the pressure. And probably go boom, boom, boom. Boom. I'm kind of throwing away the Runic Chrysalis here. But that'll take out the 6/3 zombies, then those big guys are off the board. No, I still have a Killipede. Oh god, this is gonna turn back into an eager lackey. No! I've made a huge mistake. Here, I can redeem it. I can redeem it. Turn that into a 7-drop. No! No! I don't have any other Shin hair! That's so bad! Oh, that was such a miss. That went so badly for me. And that is why I held the shard. That went so badly. Call to the Grave brings back something. It brings back a Relentless Zombie. With Deathcry, summon a Cadaver Beetle. Okay. And now we have Big Swing. out some small threats. I'll take the bigger hit for now. Ultra Bizo, hey, thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. Always happy to receive feedback. You know, if there's any suggestions on things we could do, always happy to hear feedback. Right now, Nazer Snab is looking pretty alright. Hope that in the future I may challenge the dungeon. Well, if you have a deck ready tonight, and you want to play tonight, and you have some time, we're still streaming. We're still planning to stream for another couple hours. If you're talking future days, I do stream every Wednesday. So I plan on, you know, being here. Now watch as I hit the of course! Hit the polymorphic army with nothing to transform. The troll. The troll. I knew that's how that would happen. Sounds good, Ultra. Show's not going anywhere. So glad to hear you're interested, and you'll definitely have an opportunity at some point. And so now, the first room has fallen. So, our challenger, Nazer Snab, is going to move on to room number 2 in the dungeon. So it's a pretty linear path with the bonus rooms completed now. It's a pretty linear path. 1 leads to 2, leads to 4, leads to 6. Really, the only choice along the way is which boss do you want if you make it to the end. Glad you had some fun. You managed to ruin my throw out a bunch of janky one-off troops and transform them into crazy stuff combo dreams. Alright, so are you using the same deck for room 2? I'm going to send you a challenge, unless you beat me to it. If you're not ready, you can decline the challenge. I'm not offended. But that's boss 4. You are not at boss 4. You are at... Okay, yep, so I will just throw challenges at your way then. Room 2. Let's go! First time viewer, first time challenger, Nazer Snab. Rolling up in here. Oof, gets another gimmick deck. Ada the Apparitionist. Gonna keep this hand. Maybe a little bit greedy. Or a little bit off with 5 shards and only 2 other cards. But we are on the draw. And that's gonna be a shard. No, thankfully. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play the Mooncall Ceremony. Not the world's greatest hit. I mean, it actually is on theme. Transform target troop into your crypt into a phantom and put it into play. That does actually directly play into the combo. But right now it's just a 1/3 and we have nothing to combo with it on. So it doesn't revert things though, so the loss of power might not be... Sorry, I'm going to lose the value. I'm just going to play it as a 1/2 flyer. Make it some removal bait for the Mooncall Ceremony. Maybe it gets hit. See? There we go. We just threw a Rotcast out of the hand. Rotcast, destroy target opposing troop that costs 3 or less. That Rotcast could have hit the Lorgoyle Curator. And of course, there could be another one in hand to do exactly that. But for the moment, we'll call it a win that something that wasn't the big world's largest threat. So I want to get the Lorgoyle Curator out here and start having some fun. Lorgoyle Curator pays 1 to transform target card in opposing crypt into a Tome of Lore, and then it goes into our deck. Very great at ruining what is trying to go on that side of the board, bringing those zombies back. You can't bring zombies back if I got them all in my deck as Tomes of Lore. Alright, so now can sacrifice the bloat cap. We're going to get rid of a shard, that's fine. And trades up the 1/1 for one of our cards and gets a 3/3 beetle. Now that we're going to let hit because it's got lethal. And I think Decree of Banishing is the play here. Really didn't need another shard. We're good, thanks. I'm going to Decree of Banishing to get this off the table. And then, since I've got resources left over, let's take your bloat cap. And probably the rock cast too. I don't know that it matters. Yeah, we're gonna take the rat cast too. You are not allowed to have yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna swing with the Lorgoyle Curator. Because it can sit here and it can block the Cadaver Beetle. I don't recall seeing any combat tricks in that last match, so this would be able to stop that and prevent a life hit. I am flooding so bad. I think I sit on Decree of Banishing. I'm just going to post up here for a minute. Find one of the cards in the deck that is not a shard. One more resource though, and we get Phantoms. All right. So apparently, I am only allowed to basically draw resources and Decree of Banishings. Is that how this game is going to work? You know, I don't think I play that resource unless I find one of the 7-drops in the deck, because if I'm forced to discard, I can get rid of that and keep the Decree of Banishings. Blessed Scout would have been a better hit earlier. It's a 1/3. It really can't swing into that. So we're not going to be able to start using it for Diligence to conscript things. Alright, Blightbush, Deathcry, summon 2 Blight Blossoms. Alright, so let's see if I was right about the combat tricks or not. And what are the odds of hitting Ethereal Caller twice in a row? It's like Kismet really wants me to do the thing with this deck. Well, now I will swing in with the Blessed Scout. Try to Diligence for a troop. To decree or not to decree? I think I hold the decree. I'm not exactly sure what I'm holding the decrees for, but I am greeting and I am holding the decrees. The relentless zombies don't make more things. Okay, so that's 5 damage coming in. That's fine. I can take one of those zombies, make it a Tomalore. Alright, so I've got a Valiant Escort off the Blessed Scout. One, two, three, four. This would be 5. Are we racing? This is sacrifice this. Put another target troop you control into your hand. So the Valiant Escort that came off of Blessed Scout is a safety valve now to keep Gargoyle Curator going. Alright, and I should have played a resource, but whatever. Alright, so those get bigger. That's fine. Can I do this in response? I almost feel like that ability should be basic. That is really savage in its current iteration. That is filthy just to start sniping toys out of your deck like that. Alright, I'll block the 3/3. Take 4 off the zombie. I have not found a single one of those Tomes of Lore yet. You know what, let's do some banishing. You shall not pass. Yeah, Gargoyle Curator is an amazing answer to zombies. And the fact that I lucked out, I mean that, and got the Valiant Escort off of the Blessed Scout is just extra special funsies here. So now I think this can be more aggressive. Managed to pull a repel, so we can just straight up murder anything that is attacks in. I don't even need to play resources anymore. Now the ultimate salt would be to draw the Grievous Phantom on the next play here. To play Entrath Cry. Oh no! Nazir tosses it in. That the early Gargoyle Curator, there's only 2 in the deck, but that absolutely had a disproportionate effect on how that one went. Good games, very well played. Hope you enjoyed your first ever crack at the dungeon. So we're going to update the fail count here that I use for Full Call of the Grades doesn't do anything with no graveyard, right? So we are adding into the prize pool. We're going to work on getting this full play set in here. And we're going to add in a third Howling Plains Bluegrass. Courtesy of Rory, who donated those. And Varukiel, you are up if you're still with us here. I just need to verify with you if your username is the same or different, Twitch versus Hex, and which of the starting rooms do you want to start in? Do you want to start in room number 1 or room number 2? So let me know that, and then we will go. After Varukiel, if there are no other challengers who've spoken up and want to have their first crack at the dungeon tonight, then Nazer Snap, you would be eligible to play again if you wanted. So I found the dungeons usually have a shelf life of a couple months as people learn what are in them, learn how the encounters work, and then learn how to break them. So prize pools can get pretty big. I think one person beat the final boss one time and walked away with like 40-50 bucks worth of stuff because the prize just kept growing and growing and growing. To be fair, I put that deck together in 7 minutes. Well, there you go. And now you have direct experience on what 2 of the encounters do. And you took out the starting dungeon. That the random deck with the yep, and the fancy rares, the polymorphic army is the one-trick pony of that deck, and that has single-handedly pulled some games out of the hat. So you shut her down pretty good. Varukiel, looking for Varukiel. Paging Varukiel. You would be the next contestant on the Dungeon Masters of Entrath. I just need to hear back from you. Confirm your in-game name and what deck you wish to start against. Starting deck number 1 or starting deck number 2, and we would roll. If there's anybody else, there you go. Okay. If there's anybody else who has not challenged the dungeon yet and is hanging out and wishes to, let me know. Etruria in game. All right. E-T-R-U-I-A. And then, okay, so which starting room 1 or 2? And then we shall get this on too. Alright. I hope you are ready. So, Nazer Snap, you're going to get to see the other conceivable starting point. You chose 1. Etruria wants 2. Varukiel pausing stream, so there's no inside information on what's going on, which is something I appreciate for the sake of an even game show competition. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Daughter of Stars, also known as the Bounce Castle. Oh yeah, that's fine. So it's a little slow because there's no There's no tempo in this hand, but we have a turn 3 Thunderfield Elder. Next action in your deck gets when you play this, copy it. Which can go into a Cloudbounder. 3/3 flight, mobilize will get that to 3. I didn't even catch that you used the rare wells. Yeah, you're not supposed to use rare resources. That's kind of a Dungeon Master cheat too. If that's your only mistake, I'm not gonna like call your run forfeit. I just say, hey, you know, between games, can you swap those out? Yeah, Ultra buys out common and uncommon only, and it's an immortal format, so every set is legal. The Dungeon Master, as you can see, will use some rares and legendaries to increase the challenge a little bit and provide that PvP experience a little bit. Alright, so I will swing with Thunderfield Seer here while the board's open. Oh, just kidding, I will not. It's going to get strangled. And now that it's strangled, we'll try the Mystic Naturalist. So the Mystic Naturalist is a 2/4 flyer, Diligence, summon a Mystic Bluebird. So if it lives long enough to ready again, you get another 2/2 bird for your troubles. Yeah, no rares and legendaries includes the shards, but I am notoriously awful about remembering to check that. And you know, if you slip up once, it's not the end of the world. Do I let that go through, or do I play a Crackling Tide? I think I let that through. I feel bad. And then play another Mystic Naturalist, I guess. So Truria using removal to kind of knock around and the tempo deck. Wow, Mystic Naturalist number 3, they're just, everything's coming up Mystic. Alright, can I play with this one? No, I can't play with this one. Removal.deck. Oh, jeez! Removal.deck. Empowered Burning Tendrils. Does that deck even have troops in it? Alright, so I'm going to play the Thunderfield Elder. And then exhaust it to reduce the cost of Cloudbounder to 3 and get that in play. And so now, theoretically, I've got some troops. I say theoretically because Thakra has been removing everything that gives me joy in the world. Alright, gotta let those hit. Those will die at the end of turn. Play Zintoth's Hunger to sacrifice 1 to gain 4 health and draw 2 cards. That's a nice combo. Can I land a blow? Seriously? Alright, so both of those are going to target the Cloudbounder to try to save the Cloudbounder. Thakra still gets the Nightfall. And now I just hardcast Cloudbounder. So this is a deck that wants to bounce troops, and Thakra's not playing anything for me to bounce. And again, a Buccaneer with nothing to bounce. Let's try to swing for 6. At this point, I think I just hardcast Buccaneer, just get it out there. No, we're not going to hit anything. Have it target anything. So 12 to 17 in favor of Etruria, who plays Feeding the Young Ones to summon 2 Battle Hoppers and deal 2 damage to our Thunderfield Elder. Oh, that is Runic. Oh, come on. Was that was a nice hit from Alright, so this is prophesize. Gain 2 charges, stun each opposing troop with attack 1 or less, or interrupt all basic actions. That's a basic action, isn't it? It is. So, can use Sapphire's Favor to interrupt that when it's played again. So that's nice, at least. And so now I kind of have to sit on Sapphire's Favor for whenever that happens. That's a quick action, so nothing that can be done about that. Oh, there's Ted. We have the magic number of resources to bounce the many troops that Thakra is running back into the hand. So gets rid of by just fine. I'm just gonna kill. All right, fine. Rude. Interrupt all basic actions. And gain 2 charges. There, I've got 12 charges and nothing to do with them. And 6 turns to figure out how to get a win, because now that's 2 resources. Have to block 1 or die. And so now I have 2 turns to figure out how to deal 14 points of damage. Woo! Look at all my charges. I have 13 charges. Death by coin. Plonk right in the face. Bounce castle. Doesn't work when there's nothing to bounce. And so the next map is the next room is room number 3 when you attack from that direction. Alright, so I shall shoot a challenge here. Good games. So you're in alright, yep, 3 incoming. Mortal. Room 3. Send challenge. Alright, so pull away the map. 1 down, 4 to go on your quest for ultimate victory this evening. Alright, can Swamp Butt fare any better than Daughter of Stars did? This is keepable. Gonna seek some adventure here, because got 3 resources, everything in hand tops out at 3. Again, Buccaneer feels like a dead card against a deck that is not hardly running any troops. Stifling Sting is interesting here. Deal 3 damage to target opposing champion or troop. If you damage the champion that way, if you hit them in the face, interrupt each other action with cost 3 or less. So that can both dome them and stop some removal, conceivably. I forget which shard is more important to have a double of. Buccaneers can bounce your own troop on ultra rare occasions. It's true, but they are, you know, not quick. You'd have to like make them quick speed or something, I would think. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Wolvier Basher. Call it a day. I put some farts in the deck. Basher gets strangled. Troops get killed. News at 11. I'm going to go ahead and play a Buccaneer. Ember Tongue Scarn is currently a threat to nobody with 0 attack. Oh, Arcane Alacrity, that's a good fit for an action-heavy deck. Don't have 5 resources. I would like to go Flickering Gobbler, and then any attempt to remove it with Stifling Sting. Let's slap you in the face for 1 pre-combat. Make that bigger. Wogberg the Great Gobbler. Deploy each champion discards their hand to draw 7 cards. This gets +2/+2 for each action drawn this way. Need a few more resources for that. That's it. Set me up to get chumped for 6 next turn. Alright, so I will play Buccaneer then to attempt to at least block one of them. Alright, you know what? No, I'm gonna take the 6. Alright, need to find it. I would like to find another shard or two, though, for reals. Whopping 3 points of damage coming in. Stifling Sting would not stop that. So we'll let it happen.